Hi again. In William Schnell's book, 30 Years a Watchtower Slave, we're now in chapter 4, a look at the organization in America, and we're in the second video of that series on this chapter, page 38, The Judge Plans Changes. In order to build this New World Society, it became necessary to change the organization's policy. The organization had to be given a forward focus with a goal and an ideal embedded in a scriptural setting. For the time being, using as a base the books of Charles T. Russell, which were accepted everywhere in Bible student circles, he settled on a theme of the kingdom, using the World War and ensuing climactic conditions as the window dressing for the need of a worldwide witnessing campaign. His first feelers in this direction in 1919 had been highly successful. This prompted him to bring about a convention to be held in September of 1922 at Cedar Point, Ohio, where, as previously related, the assembled delegates of the convention were prevailed upon to pass enthusiastically a resolution sponsored by him, titled Advertise, 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 the King and His Kingdom. The judge knew that it would take more than a motto to put his plans across. Up to that time, the Bible students had been of such rugged individuality type that they claimed they had fled various organizations in order to become and remain free and unencumbered in their quest of Bible studies and living as Christians. They felt that the organizations from which they had fled had become too rigid and stifling, a condition which they considered detrimental to their course as Christians. In fact, in those days, Bible students were the most rugged individualists ever to appear since the days of the early church. That's a questionable assertion, but I think I know where Schnell's coming from with this. Yes, I've met some of those people, and they were indeed very individual, eccentric. Their motto of nonconformity became a byword in the 80s and 90s of the first century. In order to sell such people, the idea of a super organization required not only a policy change, but an unusual acumen. The judge had it. How was it done? Again, by raising an issue outside of the core of Bible students and outside of the orbit of their thinking. Realizing that Bible students had left the various church organizations and denominations behind because these were organized, the Watchtower Society and its president framed an anti-Christendom or anti-organization policy, which, as I showed a little while ago, they spearheaded in a pamphlet titled The Fall of Babylon the Great. It was easy for the society to raise that issue in the ranks of Bible students, since all these were of the opinion that organization was the downfall of Christendom. Taking advantage of this ostensible opposition to organized Christendom, Judge Rutherford succeeded in becoming known worldwide as uncompromising foe of organized Christendom. While he drew this red herring across the horizon of the congregations of Bible students throughout the world, he began to lay the ground for an organization far more absolute and far more rigidly organized than was the Catholic Church, which it so bitterly opposes. This organization not only presumes to take the place of the organized Christian churches, which were so vociferously accused and condemned by the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society from 1919 on, but they daubed their organization as God's organization, the churches and all others being the devil's organization. So organization becomes the enemy, and that's their calling card for a while until it becomes, except for us. So yeah, this turnaround in the mentality apparently lost Rutherford 3/4 of the members of the IBSA loose structure of the early 1920s. 3/4 of that membership had gone by the time he gets around to rebranding this religion, Jehovah's Witnesses, in 1931. And it looks like that was deliberate. He knew what he was doing to get rid of the past. I'll put in a link to David Reed meditation on this. Beware of organization. This was the message of Charles Taze Russell. Beware of organization, and therefore, because the Watchtower started with that and has now grown into a more rigid structure, as Schnell says, than the Catholic Church, which it opposes. Obviously, this religion has been apostate from the beginning, in the base meaning of the word apostate. That is, standing away from all other organizations and then creating what he seems to be calling here a super organization. See you next time.